Okay, so today we're going deep on something uh pretty spooky.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about the Tite Inn
Okay.
in Chadlington, England.
Sounds very British.
Yeah, and this place is supposed to be like completely
Yeah.
rife with ghost stories.
Oh, wow.
And the thing is,
Yeah.
what makes this place so interesting is it's not just some
Yeah.
abandoned, creepy building or anything.
Yeah.
It's a 17th century pub that's still operating.
Oh, wow. So people are in there, like,
Yeah.
having a pint and maybe a ghost sighting
Yeah, exactly.
at the same time.
And the source material that we're going off of here is this YouTube video
Okay.
by a paranormal investigation channel called
Oh.
Paraphiles.x.
Paraphiles.x. I like
Yeah,
it.
it's a very cool channel.
Okay.
And they found some really chilling tales.
Yeah.
And one of the most common ones is about this
Yeah.
ghost of an elderly woman that's seen around the place.
Okay.
And it said that she's often seen like gazing out the windows.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of people think that she's searching for like
Right.
a lost loved one from the Battle of Edge Hill.
Ah, the Battle of Edge Hill. Now, that was one of the early major battles of the English Civil War.
Yeah.
And it was fought just a couple miles from the Tite Inn.
Wow.
So you can imagine
Yeah.
the atmosphere in the village at that time.
Yeah.
The fear and the grief
Absolutely not.
must have been palpable.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes you wonder like if that emotional intensity
Right.
could like imprint itself on a place, you know what I mean?
It's a question that has fascinated people for
Yeah.
centuries, really.
Right.
Can strong emotions,
Yeah.
particularly negative ones like grief or fear,
Yeah.
leave some sort of energetic residue, especially in places where,
Right.
traumatic events have occurred?
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of eerie, the village itself has this whole history of witch accusations too,
Right.
which adds another layer to the whole haunted thing.
Yeah, unfortunately, witch hunts
Right.
were a very real and very tragic
Yeah.
part of English history during that time.
Yeah.
And Chadlington was no exception.
Yeah, and what's really creepy about Chadlington is that they would apparently
Right.
bury accused witches up to their necks to try to get them to confess.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a horrifying thought.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's a stark reminder of how like fear and social pressure can just completely
Right.
distort justice and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's interesting to think about this too. Like these trials weren't always about
Right.
like a genuine belief in witchcraft.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
a lot of times it was used to target
Yeah.
people who were marginalized,
Right. People who didn't conform to the
Yeah.
norms of society.
Right. Especially women.
Exactly. Women who were seen as different or who challenged the status quo.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, accusations could be driven by any number of things.
Right.
Jealousy, revenge,
Yeah.
or just a desire to control people
Right.
who were seen as different.
Yeah, absolutely. And it makes you think like how much of what we perceive as like
Right.
haunted is actually like this echo of injustice.
Hmm.
You know?
It's a haunting in a different sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the haunting of the past,
Yeah.
the weight of these injustices
Yeah.
that can linger.
Yeah. Absolutely. And as if the battle and the witch trials weren't enough.
Right.
There's another story associated with the Tite Inn.
Okay.
This time it involves a woman named Clara Sack.
Clara Sack.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She died in 1888
Okay.
because she was hit by a traction engine.
A traction engine.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, a traction engine
Yeah.
was essentially like a really early
Right.
form of a car.
Yeah.
But it was massive.
Yeah.
And it was steam powered.
Wow.
So you can imagine
Yeah.
seeing this behemoth coming
Right.
down the road. It was probably terrifying.
Oh, yeah, especially back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fascinating how these stories all kind of intertwine with like
Right.
the advancement of technology too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you've got,
It's a through line through
Yeah.
history.
yeah, we've got the battle.
Right.
Fought with swords and muskets and stuff.
Right.
And then centuries later,
Yeah.
you've got this tragic accident with this
Yeah.
machine that was like cutting edge at the time.
Right.
It's
It makes you think about
Yeah.
how human stories, whether they're happy or sad,
yeah.
are constantly being woven into the fabric of a place.
Yeah, absolutely. And it kind of begs the question, like,
Right.
what makes a place haunted?
Yeah. Is it
You-
the event itself?
Right.
Or is it the stories that we tell about the event?
Right.
The Tite Inn with all its history
Right.
becomes a focal point
Yeah.
for all these narratives.
Right. So it's not just about the ghosts.
Right.
It's about like the weight of history.
Exactly.
The echoes of all the lives that were lived
Yeah.
and lost in this place.
The sense of presence
Yeah.
that can feel very real.
Yeah, it can be really heavy.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, too, how, like, some places just seem to have that
Right.
more than others, you know?
Some places just seem to hold on to the past
Yeah.
a little bit tighter.
Yeah. This deep dive is really giving me chills.
You too.
This is,
It's spooky stuff.
it really is. The Tite Inn's not just an old pub. It's like a portal into the past, you know?
Yeah.
Filled with battles and witch hunts and
Right.
personal tragedies.
It really makes you think.
Yeah, it does. If you were to visit the Tite Inn,
Yeah.
what do you think would draw your attention the most?
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
I mean, the battle is fascinating,
Yeah.
but the witch trials are just so chilling.
Yeah.
And then there's Clara's story, which is just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It's hard to choose.
Yeah. I think for me it'd be the witch trials just because it's so much more than just
Right.
like a ghost story. You know, it's like a
It speaks to a darker side
Yeah.
of human nature.
Yeah, and how easily people can be swayed
Right.
by fear and manipulation and stuff,
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
Yeah. But I think no matter what aspect of the Tite Inn's history drew you in,
Yeah.
it would be a pretty unforgettable experience.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think it'd be one of those things that would stay with you.
Right. It would stick with you.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to shake it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely a place that I would want to visit
Me too.
someday and just kind of
Yeah.
feel that energy, you know?
Feel that history.
Yeah, feel that history.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a reminder that the past is never really gone.
that's a good point.
You know, it's always there, just
Yeah.
beneath the surface.
Yeah. And some places just make that
Right.
more obvious than others.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if you're ever in England and you're
Mhm.
looking for a spooky little adventure.
A little historical adventure
Yeah.
with a side of spooky.
Yeah, definitely check out the Tite Inn.
Definitely.
But maybe bring a friend.
Yeah, you might need some moral support.
Yeah. You never know who or what you might encounter.
Exactly.
Yeah. And if you do go,
Yeah.
be sure to let us know
Yeah, we want to hear all about it.
what you experienced.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's it for this deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for joining me.
It was fun.
Yeah. It was spooky fun.
It was.
All right. We'll catch y'all next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.